This is my hometown. It's called Youngstown, and it's in the state of Ohio near the Pennsylvania boundary. In Youngstown, we make steel. We make steel and talk steel. I guess it's the same in Sheffield, England, or that place the Russians built in the Urals, Magnitogorsk. I'd like to tell you something about how we make steel here, and while I'm at it, introduce you to some friends of mine who work in the mills. Look down any street in town, and you'll see the mills at the end of it. There are 25 miles of them along the Mahoning River, and today they're busy day and night. Every 8 hours, the shifts change. 15,000 men to the shift. The men going to work can see the freight trains bringing in the raw materials: iron ore, coal, and limestone. This is the ore. It looks like dirt, but in a few weeks it'll become part of a ship, a tank, or a gun. And in peacetime, an office building, a bridge, or a dam structure. An overhead crane picks it up and carries it over to the skip hoists, which take it up to the top of the blast furnace. In the blast furnace, the boys smelt the ore into iron, the first step in making steel. Molten iron comes out at 3,300 degrees. The slag comes up to the top like cream in a pitcher and goes out the other way. Johnny Chonko on the snort valve controlling the blast. When things get too hot, he's got to think quick and move quicker. Peter Zeman's the blower, head man on the shift. He tells them when it's time to stop the flow. And this is Frank Mele, a friend of mine. Frank came here from Italy 45 years ago. He's got his own place up on the hill. Come Christmas, it's full up with his children and grandchildren. Frank doesn't talk much, but I know how he feels about his home, his kids, and the satisfaction he gets knowing they'll grow up with the same chance as the kids next door, or any other kids in the country. This is the open hearth where the molten iron from the blast furnace is mixed with scrap iron and the two purified into steel. I remember the first time I saw it, the size of the place, the noise, the sirens wailing when the big stuff moved overhead, and the heat hitting you like a solid wall. It's something you don't forget. flagging, lining a furnace with dolomite. This protects the wall of the furnace against the extreme temperature. Down the line, Bob Wentworth is charging scrap iron, scrap that came from farms, backyards, and attics all over the country, collected by school kids and housewives to do their part in the war. Next door, Tommy Hughes is giving one of the furnaces a drink of hot iron from the 35-ton ladle. This iron is fresh from the blast furnace. These are the foremen, Bill Riley and John Strauss. John came here from Croatia. He's got 2 sons. The older is a captain in the Army. The younger, Ed, is still in high school. He's a substitute on the football team. Next year, when he gets a little more beef on him, he'll be a regular. Of course, it isn't all football. Education comes first. The principal, Mr. Glasgow, understands the kids. He believes they should help plan their own schooling. Ed's interested in flying, so along with languages and literature, he gets courses in physics and aerology and internal combustion engines. It means a lot to have free education like this for your kids. If you listen in on these youngsters, of course you'll hear them talk about football and dances and things of that sort, but you'll hear other things too. Talk about what kind of a world this can be after the war. Things maybe their parents didn't talk about enough. They know what's going on, these kids, and that's all to the good. Yes, if you listen to them, you get to appreciate how much democracy depends on education. Education for everybody.